G'day, Bomber fans. Just as we're having a good week, we're off the mark with our first win of the year. An incoming bye means we're not losing this weekend. We're all feeling good. The fan base is happy. There's smiles everywhere. And then carnage at training, or carnage over the weekend even. We have 3 new players added to our injury list. And let me tell you that there are some heartbreaking stories here. Yesterday was really bad. You just hate to see it. You didn't even want to check Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, before we start, give me a follow on Twitter and Blue Sky, everything Essendon. And also, today was going to originally be a little profile of our NGA and father sons for the upcoming draft, because we've got some really exciting players coming through there. I'll now release that either tomorrow or on Friday. I just had to release this one and talk about the injuries today, so let's get into it. Okay, we're going to start by talking about what happened over the weekend. So in the VFL, in the opening minutes of the VFL game against Werribee, Angus Clarke left the ground holding his shoulder after a collision. A pretty innocuous collision, actually. Didn't look too bad. He didn't return to the field, which is never ideal, and it turns out that he's actually broken his collarbone in that contest. He had surgery on it yesterday to fast-track that recovery. So when you see the injury list, it will say TBC, to be confirmed. It is likely going to be around 2 months, though. So not a horrible injury, but it's annoying because he was playing such good footy for us. He wasn't close to a debut or anything, but it would have been cool to have him go at it in the VFL more. It's been fun watching the Rezzies this year, because we've got so many good young players. But yeah, unfortunately, there's going to be one less for the next few weeks. The next little period we will be without Angus Clarke, which is not ideal. Some will say he needs to beef up a bit to avoid these contact injuries, and maybe that's the case. But yeah, that'll come with more time in the system and more pre-seasons. Unfortunate injury, but it's not the worst of the new ones. Okay, so on to the carnage from yesterday. It started with news that we just didn't want to see, and you just hated to see it come through. Footy is really cruel sometimes, and for some reason, it's more cruel to West Aussies who come down to Melbourne for some reason, or at least to Essendon. Last year it was Jaden Hunter. This year it's Tom Edwards. We all love the story that the school teacher turned AFL forward, kicked 3 on debut, looks like a real player who just fits in at the club. Unfortunately, though, after just 2 games, his season is done. He left the park yesterday with a knee injury. There was little to no doubt that it was an ACL at the time, and scans then confirmed that he has ruptured his ACL. Pretty much the worst injury you can really get as a footballer. So he'll get surgery on that in the coming days and begin a grueling rehab mission to get back onto the park. Now, this is obviously horrendous news. You never want any player to get injured, let alone do their ACL. And the fact that it was Tom, one of the feel-good stories of the season, it just sucks. So we wish him the best. We're all behind you, supporting you, Tom. I don't know why I'm addressing him directly, because there's no chance he's watching this video. But yeah, just really bad news. Give him some support if you can. The only thing to note now from this is the fact that it opens up a list for us heading into the mid-season draft. So Edwards will be on the inactive injury list. He will not play for us again this year, but we will replace him in the mid-season draft. But yeah, hopefully he's done enough to get that extra contract at the end of the season. I think if Jaden Hunter got one after his first season, then Edwards has done more than enough, scoring 3 on debut. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him and his future with us, but obviously this is just a horrible injury at such a bad time for someone who we all were really, behind. We all really liked that debut. It was one of the only good things to come from that Crows game. So yeah, unfortunate injury, this one. Jye Caldwell, so he was the other to fall under an injury cloud yesterday, and I'm recording this very early, by the way, so he's been sent for scans, but at the time of filming, no news has come back. He has just injured his hamstring, that is all we know. It is a suspected strain. I've seen some say suspected tear, which would be horrible. But I mean, when you've got soft tissue injuries in the past, it's hard to know how long it could be. It could be 2 to 3 weeks. It could be a lot longer. We don't know anything just yet. It is TBC. Now, I've seen some online question whether or not the club was pushing him too hard or something during the bye. I guess trying to find a scapegoat and reading into things, I guess. I just think this is bad luck, and an injury-prone player, I guess it's more likely to come. Of the 10 players on our injury list, 4 of them have soft tissue injuries, so I wouldn't say there's anything that the club is doing there. It's not really about overworking or anything. Back when I was serious about footy, I remember playing a full game, a high-intensity game I was actually tired for, and that's usually not the case with me because I was pretty lazy. But then when I got home, I was running to the clothesline because it was raining, and I did my groin going to the clothesline after a full game of footy, and it was, why has that happened? I remember thinking that. And that was the 3rd time I'd done it, and I think it was just because I'd done it in the past, and when you have soft tissue injuries, they're more likely to come after that. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just the case for Caldwell. And we forget because he's played the last 2 seasons in their entirety, but he has had a lot of soft tissue issues in the past. So yeah, hopefully this isn't too bad. Hopefully he's up and playing footy soon. But yeah, by the time this is out, we may know the extent of his injury and we can talk about it in the comments. Hopefully it's not too long, but yeah, this is poor timing considering he's been playing such good footy. It means we now need someone else to step up in the midfield, and hopefully that can be the case with maybe Elijah Sartas coming back. All right, so here is the full injury list, and there are a few things to note now. So we have 3 tests, Parrish, Sartas and Perkins. Parrish was supposed to play VFL footy on the weekend, but he pulled up sore. Unfortunately, we have a bye in the VFL in the next 2 weeks, so he's not going to be easing it going through in the Rezzies anytime soon. That means I honestly, because he's missed a lot of the preseason, you would hope to see him back through the VFL first, so maybe although he's a test, he might not be up for gather round. It might be the week after, possibly. I don't know. As for Sartas and Perkins, they're expected to be okay for gather round, and they could come back straight away, to be honest. They only missed the 1 match, so it's not like their training loads are low or anything. Perkins had a small quad injury. Sartas broke his hand before the Crows game, so I'm sure he's up to full fitness and he should be back for gather round, I hope. But yeah, they're doing all right. Then we've got a few more guys on the horizon as well. Peter Wright is 2 to 3 weeks away, tracking well after that ankle. The big one here actually is Nick Cox. He, for the first time this year, has a return date. He is now 2 to 3 weeks away after that concussion or that lingering the symptoms. That suggests he's well and truly, I guess, healed and just needs to build more high-intensity training into his body before he can be considered for VFL or AFL. He's already improved his training loads, which is good. Cole Langford, he is 3 weeks away from that hamstring return. He's hoping to be right for Anzac Day, which would be a massive boost. Matt Guelphy is tracking along nicely, 5 to 6 weeks after that surgery. Then we've got the TBC gang, Jye Caldwell, Angus Clarke, and Tom Edwards, who is out for the season. So yeah, 10 players currently on our injury list. That is roughly a quarter of the squad almost, and you could argue 6 or 7 of them are in our best 23. So yeah, bit of an injury issue at the club, unfortunately, which is no good because we're already so young to begin with. We've got a really thin forward line in particular when you look at our injury list. You could actually build a solid forward 6 out of this group now that you think about it. Wright and Langford could be the marking targets. Edwards the third tall. Guelphy on ground level with Perkins. I mean, honestly, you could argue that our injury list has a better forward or more proven forward setup than what we have at AFL level, which is just shocking. But yeah, it's important to remember that these, we aren't really in a spot to be challenging for finals or anything yet. So although it might suck to see these players get injured, it does suck. It just makes it more likely for us to be giving younger guys a chance in their place. 3 debutants already. I'm sure we'll see more before the bye. But yeah, that's that really. Hopefully these guys recover quickly. Give them some support online or however you can. Tom and Angus, just horrible timing. Jye as well. So early into their career for Tom and Angus. So hopefully they're doing all right. Hopefully our midfield can hold up with Jye Caldwell gone. But yeah, that is all. Cheers for watching, guys. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and as always, go Bombers.